For 3 months straight, a massive 200-pound shadow vanished into the dead of night without a trace. No one knew where he went, but every dawn he returned to the porch, exhausted and covered in dirt. Zafir was never just a mystery. He was a force of nature that had to be reckoned with from the start. His owner had built their relationship not on a foundation of dominance, but on a bedrock of mutual respect, successfully channeling those ancient guarding instincts into a disciplined masterpiece. By the time he was only 6 months old, Zafir already weighed 90 pounds, and as an adult, he reached a staggering 200 pounds of pure muscle that seemed to command the very air around him. Standing on his hind legs, he towered at over 6 feet tall, eyes tracking every single vibration within the perimeter with a cold, calculated intensity. He didn't waste his energy barking at strangers or making empty threats. He simply existed as a physical barrier. He positioned himself at the entrance like a monument carved from granite, a living wall that made visitors freeze in their tracks. Neighbors and friends began to keep their distance, not because he was aggressive, but because his gaze felt like a heavy weight pressing against their chests. His owner's peers would joke that being stared at by Zafir felt like being judged by history itself. But for the family, this wasn't a game. Zafir's protective nature wasn't just a trait, it was a full-time occupation that dictated the flow of their daily lives. He shadowed every guest, monitored every interaction, and stood as a silent sentinel that made the outside world feel miles away. Eventually, the intensity of his commitment led to a routine that no one could explain. Every night, between the hours of midnight and 3 a.m., this 200-pound titan would find a way out into the rural Kentucky wilderness. He didn't run away to play, he left to work. While the family slept, Zafir was engaging in a silent war against the elements and the unknown threats lurking in the tree line. Before you see how this ends, if you haven't subscribed yet, it truly means the world to me. Hit that button right now, because the climax of Zafir's loyalty is something you will never forget. The nightly disappearances became a source of constant anxiety for the family, as they struggled to understand why their guardian was returning with cracked paws and fresh scratches. They tried everything to keep him contained, installing high-tech cameras and heavy-duty locks, but Zafir possessed an uncanny ability to find the blind spots and navigate the shadows like a ghost. When they attempted to follow him, he would simply stop and sit, refusing to move until they returned to the safety of the house. It was as if he knew that where he was going, they couldn't follow, and what he was facing, they weren't meant to see. His owner began to realize that Zafir wasn't being disobedient. He was adhering to a code of conduct written into his very DNA over thousands of years. As a breed designed to protect estates and face down apex predators, Zafir viewed the 40 acres of woods not as a backyard, but as a territory that required constant, grueling maintenance. However, the physical toll was becoming undeniable. He was losing weight, his massive frame showing the wear and tear of nightly patrols, and his paws were often bleeding from the rough terrain. The family watched in silence as their 200-pound protector slowly gave everything he had to a mission they didn't yet understand. They worried that whatever he was fighting out there would eventually be too much for even a giant of his stature. The mystery reached its breaking point on a Tuesday evening when the silence of the Kentucky countryside was shattered by the sound of intrusion. 3 men, thinking the isolated farmhouse was an easy target, jumped the perimeter fence under the cover of a moonless sky. They expected a quick score, but they hadn't accounted for the 200-pound strategist waiting in the darkness. Zafir didn't rush in with a blind rage or a cacophony of barks. Instead, he utilized the darkness to his advantage.
cutting off their exit routes and funneling them into a corner of the yard. For 12 agonizing minutes, Zafir held them captive without ever laying a tooth on them. He used only his presence, his low-frequency growls, and his sheer physical scale to anchor them to the spot.
When the police finally arrived, they found 3 grown men trembling in the corner, paralyzed by the sight of a 200-pound guardian that stood between them and their freedom. Even the veteran officers were stunned by the dog's tactical restraint. Zafir hadn't bitten a single person, yet he had achieved a total tactical shutdown through sheer psychological and physical dominance. It was only then that the full scope of Zafir's nightly missions came to light. A neighbor later revealed that a pack of stray predators had been terrorizing local livestock, but they had never once crossed onto the family's property because Zafir had been fighting them back every single night for 3 months. He wasn't just wandering, he was holding a line that no one else could see. Today, at 4 years old, Zafir is more than just a pet. He is a specialized security expert who lives for the safety of his pack. Every morning, he still patrols the property lines with the same military precision, identifying strategic vantage points and ensuring that only those he trusts are allowed passage. He has taught his family that true protection isn't about aggression. It's about the quiet, consistent strength to stand guard when the rest of the world is asleep. His owner no longer sees a problem dog, but a partner whose language of love is written in duty and discipline. Zafir doesn't need to beg for affection because his value is proven in the peace of mind he provides. He stands as a reminder that the most powerful guardians are the ones who don't need to show their teeth to make their point. If Zafir's story of controlled power and absolute loyalty moved you, please subscribe right now and drop a comment below. Would you feel safe with a 200-pound guardian like Zafir watching over your home? Don't forget to hit that like button to support more stories of incredible loyalty. I'll see you in the next one as we continue to explore the unbreakable bond between humans and their most devoted protectors.